Hello, it's immigration attorney Christian Zeller, and it's Tuesday, July 14th, and this is your weekly immigration law update. First, let's talk about the USCIS and the printing disaster they find themselves in. Because recently, the USCIS has decided to bring the printing for green cards and all other employment authorization documents in-house. Unfortunately, the agency does not appear to have the capacity to keep up with that demand. Rumor has it that the green card printing alone is backlogged by 50,000, and there are already a backlog of 75,000 employment authorization cards. Now, green card holders are required by law to carry their cards. Many now carry no card or an expired card. And this, of course, poses a problem for these permanent residents because they're unable to show that they are employment authorized. And that could, of course, be a problem when you change your job. And it's also a problem for employers because employers may be unable to verify employment eligibility of these employees. Now, the delay in printing employment authorizations creates a complete different chaos. Foreign national workers whose work authorization in the United States is not incident to status, but requires proof of work authorization, are really harmed because they cannot start or continue employment unless they have a valid employment authorization document. And since employment authorization cards are only valid for a year and sometimes two, this could really cause unwanted and harmful employment interruptions for both employers and employees alike. Now, although some workers may continue working with expired employment authorization cards for up to 180 days, as long as they have applied for their extension timely, others, such as their dependents, for example, dependents of L1 visa holders, dependents of E2 visa holders, dependents of J1 visa holders, or recipients of DACA, are not allowed to work without a valid employment authorization. Now, along these lines, USCIS is planning furloughs. Frankly, the USCIS is running out of money. You know, this agency is not appropriated by Congress. It funds itself by way of filing fees paid by applicants like you. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, the number of applications filed with the USCIS has, of course, diminished. And unless Congress now provides emergency funding, the agency is going to run out of money within weeks. Now, based on that circumstance, the USCIS has announced that it plans to furlough about 70% of its workforce beginning August 3rd, 2020. Now, furloughs of such a number would essentially shut down the USCIS and likely bring most case processing to an abrupt halt. Now, given the insurmountable existing adjudication backlogs, the consequences of the proposed furloughs could have an enormously negative impact on our already strained immigration system. Of course, there's still hope, and that the Congress will provide emergency funding, such as a bridge loan or some other relief, to keep the agency open. Please stay tuned, and I'll keep you posted on that. Now, finally, the last item, the pending student visa disaster. And we're going to have a webinar on that. The stunning move by Immigration and Customs Enforcement's SEVP, banning F1 and M1 students from the US if their institutions only offer online classes for the fall semester of 2020, clearly remains this week's immigration headline. Summarily, international students at a university or college, which offers online classes only, would lose their student status and could even face deportation unless they transfer to an institution which offers in-person classes or a hybrid model, a mixture of in-person and online classes. Many of you know that both Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, have filed suit against the Department of Homeland Security. And a court hearing is scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Tuesday, 7/14/2020, today in the afternoon. The schools are seeking a preliminary injunction and restraining order to bar the federal government from implementing its new policy. I want you to learn more about this visa ban and the outcome of that court hearing, of course, in my next webinar and that will be this Thursday, July 16th, 2020 at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And if you're watching this webinar, somewhere in the bottom field, you will find a registration. Do feel free to sign up for this free webinar this Thursday to learn more about the student visa ban and how to move forward if you are an international student. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe to my immigration help channel. I'll keep you posted. Always good to see you. Goodbye.